Hello, and it's good to be with you again, isn't it, Ronnie?
Yes, it is. And in a packed programme tonight, we ask the burning question about pilfering coal miners. Do they have lots of slack in their trousers?
And we'll have a feature on weenie boppers and how you shouldn't make fun of people who've got them.
But first, here is the news. There was an embarrassing incident at Madame Tussauds last week when Mr. Callahan unveiled a wax model of himself and his chauffeur drove it back to Downing Street by mistake. But luckily, it had only held 3 cabinet meetings before it was discovered.
And we've just heard that at a Golders Green maternity hospital today, the wife of a well-known ventriloquist gave birth to a 9-pound bouncing gaggy goy.
A new dance is sweeping the country. It's called the pony trot. Once round the floor, then outside for your oats. Sport. Reports that athletes indulge in too much sex before meetings were hotly denied today by sprinter Wellesley Blunt. He went on to win the 100 metres in a time of 2 hours, 37 minutes. Now for the notices. There'll be a conference and sermon in the Free Church Hall tomorrow for those who thirst after righteousness. And for those who thirst before righteousness, the Cat and Fiddle opens early. In a sketch that follows about teddy boys and topless girls at a dance, I knock around with a pair of rockers. And I rock around with a pair of Notts County football. Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Lovely day, isn't it?
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
Chilly but crisp.
Frosty but nice.
Bracing and bright.
Nip in the air.
Good for the blood.
Gives you a glow.
Spring in your step.
Makes you feel good.
Top of the world.
Walking on air.
So full of beans.
I quite agree.
Been for your holes?
At the weekend.
Anywhere nice?
Cornwall for us. Same every year. Booked it all up. Bought Tootaloo.
Bought Tootaloo?
Monty for me.
Going abroad, fiddle-dee-dee.
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 Seen this bit here?
What does it say?
Says that a man, age 42, took a young girl back to his flat, gave her some drinks, then she passed out. When she woke up, she was in bed, in the Near East, and nothing else. Know what I mean? Man of the world. Need I say more? Words of the wise.
Oh, you're a one.
Rubbish like that makes me feel sick. Who wants to read that sort of filth? Vicars and scouts, orgies and drugs, bosoms and boots, brazen young bits, flaunting their flesh, showing their thighs, all that they've got. World's in a mess. Going to pot. Sign of the times. God, I feel hot. Think I'll strip off.
Have you gone mad?
I think he snapped. Gone round the twist.
Give us a kiss.
Get back, you fool. I want a kiss. Leave her alone.
Keep out of this.
I knew you cared. I had a hunch. Come to my arm. Mind my packed lunch.
No, you're not here.
Now is the time. I want you now.
George, is this wise?
I love your lips. I love your eyes. I love your nose.
Take me by force.
I love your...
Here's Terry Crews.
I say, I'm most awfully sorry. I don't know what came over me.
It's quite all right. Say no more about it. Just one of those things. George.
Thank you so much.
Wouldn't mind, but it's the same thing every day.
One thing about these white people, they got a great sense of rhythm.
Not gin tonic, you're hard wine, I'm thinking. Yours, yes, right. Right, I think, look, you all go out on the terrace. I'll get the waiter to bring the drinks out, shall I? That's fine. Off we go.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
What would you like?
Well, to start with, I'll have a large gin tonic.
Sir.
Very large.
Ice and lemon, sir?
Yeah, if there's room in the glass, yes.
And what else, sir?
Well, as a matter of fact, I've just met these people. See, I don't know them at all. They're all friends of my wife, you see. So now, let's see. The lady in the sack dress wants an enormous brandy. The young man with a flat head wants a rum and coke. Andy, he's the tall chap. He's Scottish. He wants a pink gin with lemon. The girl with the boobs wants a white lady. My wife will have a Scotch on the rocks. The woman with the bare arms behind her, she will have half a bottle of the house wine. And the old man with the rather shifty eyes, he'll have a rough cider. But before that, I'll have another gin and tonic.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Beautiful. So, right, so that's an enormous brandy, rum and coke, a pink gin, white scotch, a wine, a cider, and a lemon on the rocks.
Pardon, sir?
The lady in the sack dress, brandy. The flathead, rum and coke, the Scotsman behind, a white gin. The lady with the pink boobs, a cider, just a minute. Yes, right. Thank you. Yes, I thought that's it. Yes. Is that mine?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Say it again, please.
Certainly, sir.
Now, I've got it this time. It's one brandy, one rum and lemon, a pink thing, a white lady with double boobs, rough rocks, a wine on the house, and a big bottle.
Pardon, sir?
Don't worry, it's all under control. Look, the lady in the sack wants a tall scotch. The bear lady with the behind wants a rum and coke. My wife will have an old man on the rocks. The girl with the shifty boobs wants a big bottle of brandy on the house. The young man with the flat wife wants enormous wine. The white lady with the pink... just a minute. Now, wait a minute. You've ordered the pink wine. Yes, I thought that was it. Yes. Is that mine?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Say it again, please. Now, are you listening? It's simple. Simple. I'll have a gin tonic.
I've got one ready for you.
Oh, thank you. Either one of these, is it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Why didn't you have a beer?
No, thank you, sir.
Right, now, I do exactly what I'm doing, all right? Here goes. The randy girl with a big bottle wants a rough Scotsman. Rough Scotsman. The tall lemon wants a double shifty on the rocks. The bear woman with the boobs like the side of a house wants a pink old man. The normal chap with the flat gin wants my wife with the beer behind. And the white lady wants a sack of coke. It's simple enough. What are you having?
Look, sir, I'm...
Look, ready? Now, wait a minute. Look, this is it, right? Ready? Forget all previous orders. Just give me a sack of coke, 2 large rocks, 2 pink boobs, an enormous lemon, and a large bear lady of the house.
That's all. I'm glad we finally got that sorted out.
Yes, so am I, yeah.
1 sack of coke.
1 sack of coke.
2 large rocks.
2 large rocks.
1 pair of pink boobs.
1 pair.
An enormous lemon. And a large bear lady on the house.
Oh, thank you very much. Where did you carry that? Right, look, now I'll take the lemon, you take the rocks, will you? Come on, back. Now, who ordered the pink boobs?
Was now in a state of terror. The series of outrageous and sudden attacks by the phantom raspberry blower continued. No one was safe alone at night. Even married couples had taken to going around in pairs. The chief victims being members of the aristocracy and their staff.
I've never been so... Did you see the man?
Inspector Corner of the Yard, however, at last had a lead. He now knows that the phantom would only be satisfied when he had attacked the Queen herself. And so was born his master plan. The Home Secretary, Sir Doddington Diddle, outlines his scheme to a group of special constables at Hendon.
Victoria's mark, sight. Victoria's hunt. Victoria's dip, up. Victoria's from the right, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Queen Victoria's reporting for duty. Home Secretary.
Queen Victoria's stand at ease. Men, you are no doubt wondering why you have been asked to dress like this. Simply this. We have inside information that an attempt is to be made upon Her Majesty's person by the phantom raspberry blower of old London, etc., etc. Therefore, we have found it necessary to take certain steps to defeat his purposes of it. Now, your duty is clear. You have all been chosen as for your general facial resemblance to Her Majesty Queen Victoria. You will all be given specific duties to perform. One of you will take up residence in Buckingham Palace. Another will drive in an open landau through Hyde Park. The third will give a soiree at St. James's Carry after, and so on. In this way, we hope to decoy the miscreant into being overconfident.
Where will Her Majesty really be, sir?
He will be playing the lead in Charlie's Aunt at the Hippodrome. Any further questions? No? Good. And very good luck to you all. Ravishing. Ravishing, ravishing.
By the left, quick, march.
Thus, the platoon of 6 Queen Victoria's first class set about their vital task of decoying the raspberry blower into a lethal trap. But each of the 6 suffered a different fate at the hands of the Phantom. The first one, Constable Cyril Custard, was posted to Windsor. He disappeared after being at the receiving end of a nasty one from under the table. The second one was receiving debutantes at Buckingham Palace. But the Phantom disguised himself as a deb and struck again, and the poor constable was discovered when his skirt was blown off by the force of the blast. The third attack poisoned the coffee on the royal train, and the policeman never recovered. The fourth Queen Victoria got stuck in a traffic jam at Luggett Circus and was never seen again. And the fifth and sixth ones fell in love and lived happily ever after. But worse was to come. On the night of February the 3rd, 1899, the Phantom's card was found underneath the Queen's bed by her faithful retainer, John Brown.
Oh, my goodness me!
The nation was shocked. An emergency meeting was called at number 10 Downing Street. All the heads of the Commonwealth were present. The Prime Minister addressed them.
My lords, prime ministers, sultans, potentates, sheiks, maharajas, and Miss Maureen Buddy. Gentlemen. And Maureen. We must take steps to isolate this threat to our dear Queen. Everything else takes second place.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Now, hands up, all those in agreement. Now, here is my master plan to put paid to the Bloomsbury Phantom Rasser of all... Stop, it's the Phantom!
He's rendered my whistle lifeless, sir.
Here, use mine.
Oh, that's a nice one, sir. Here, I want a word with you.
Is nothing sacred? Can nothing be done? Authority is once again powerless to stop him. Who is there who will now dare to pit his wits against the Phantom Raspberry Blower of old London town?
Now, here is the late news. A man who broke into the royal palace at Monaco and tried to escape wearing shoes belonging to Prince Rainier's son and a dress belonging to his wife has been charged with putting on airs and graces.
And news from the courts, 30 drunken trippers who nipped off their coach for a certain reason on Hammersmith Bridge, just as the Cambridge crew were passing underneath, have been each fined £10 for having one over the age.
And a young woman from Wealdstone made an extremely serious complaint against a famous cosmetic surgeon. She said he gave her a perfect bust, but made it far too big. Having weighed the evidence, the police have put it in the hands of the public prosecutor.
And a national health patient complained today of how he was rushed around the country for a series of emergency operations. He had a hand operation at Neasden and a knee operation at Handsworth. Then he had a heart transplant at Liverpool and a liver transplant at Hartlepool. Then he had a hair transplant at Littlehampton. And on arriving at Harefield, he fainted. Good evening. Here is the news for Friday, June the 4th, 2001. King Foot of Europe is to abdicate. With a name like Foot, it's hard to put on a brave face, he said. It's been dragged through the mud many times, especially in wet weather. But now I wish to take it easy, relax, and put it up for a while. Mrs. Elizabeth Windsor, formerly the Queen, has applied to have her council flat redecorated. The last time it was decorated was in 1971, when it received the OBE. Asked who did the decorating, she replied, "My husband and I." And now, the main news story this evening. Reports are just coming in of the discovery of a large container in a park at Ealing, which appears to have been dropped from an unknown aircraft. It is emitting a strange, sweet-smelling gas, which is rapidly being dispersed over a wide area. Roger Kinsey reports.
Good evening. I have been advised to wear this gas mask, but...
Quite frankly, it seems to me to be a complete waste of time, because these two ladies over here seem to be suffering from no ill effects whatsoever. The canister was discovered early this morning and is marked on the side in large letters, formation gas. What this means, we are not sure. But scientists are now waiting for the appearance of a trigger device, something that will cause this, at the moment, harmless gas to start working. Roger Kinsey, News at 10, Ealing Common.
Mrs. Bates, number 11, Knocker Street.
And here is some film of what could be that trigger device. A parachute was observed floating down above Acton a few minutes ago. It has just landed in the front garden of a house in Mulberry Crescent. Two eminent scientists in protective clothing are even now about to examine it. Perhaps they will be able to unravel the secret of the mysterious formation gas. Roger Kinsey reports.
Here we are in Acton now, approaching the moment of truth. Everyone in the area has breathed the formation gas. It remains to see now whether the scientists can render this trigger device harmless. Good heavens, it appears they have now triggered off the device. Nothing can now stop this gas becoming effective. Roger Kinsey, news at 10, on his bike.
Reports are just beginning to come in, confirming that the gas is spreading. Some commuters travelling home from work have already been affected. South End, the gas accidentally woke up several council road members during working hours. Here comes Roger Kinsey again. Police headquarters have recruited a special squad to deal with the situation. Calling Sector Victor 5. Rendezvous at once, Pleasant Road, Acton. Repeat, Pleasant Road, Acton. Another squad car already arriving at destination. Please note that Constable Peter Harris, repeat, Constable Peter Harris, is wearing a navy blue sequin uniform with accessories and truncheon. That his entire ensemble was made by his mother in 3 evenings as a cost of £7.50. The government has just issued a special communique urging people not to panic in the present crisis, which they hope will be short-lived. Simply keep calm and dance about your business in the normal way. Mr. Eric Morley has been made Minister of Dancing. We must now all look towards Mecca for a solution. Meanwhile, Brigadier General Dogsbody has taken over as Supreme Allied Commander in charge of all military two-steps. However, the gas container has been loaded onto a lorry and is at this very moment being driven to the south coast to be dumped in the sea, while the trigger device is on its way north to be buried in a disused coal mine near Middlesbrough. Let us hope that, with them both travelling in opposite directions, we are approaching the end of this bizarre affair.
What's all this?
Oh, no, well, just go on. No, stop it. I don't know what's stopping you.
Sir? Now, what is Sir going to have?
I would like a shave, please.
A shave. Now, Mr. Engel does the shaving, sir. Mr. Engel?
Yeah?
Customer for you.
Oh,
Oh, my God.
morning, madam.
Morning. Nice morning.
Yes, it's a nice morning, isn't it? Nice blue sky out there. A bit quiet, mind you. Who's that nosy Parker peeping in? Clear off, clear off.
I'd like a shave, please.
Will you mind waiting your turn, please? I've got something. I warned you about that before. You've been in here before. I know you're trouble. Sorry, I'm sorry about that, lady. Sorry.
I'm not a lady.
No matter how low you sink, women and ladies are all the same to me. Now,
Look, I haven't got much time.
I haven't got much time. I haven't got much time either. Now, we'll get this done in no time. Has the lady gone, then?
Yes, she has.
Oh, well, you must be next, I reckon. Now, what can I do for you?
I would like a shave, please.
A shave, yes. That's, Uh-huh. Now, are we going to leave this moustache on, do you think, or...
Yes, please.
Yes, I think you can afford it with a flattish nose like you have. You can carry it off like
yes,
that.
Would you hurry up, please?
Yes, I will hurry up, yes. That's it. Now, do you think... Oh, wait a minute. There we are, that's it. Do you think Middlesex are going to beat Arsenal? I think they will do if the going's all right, don't you? Mind, you can't believe all you read in the papers, can you? I only useful for fish and chips. I take them all with a pinch. Wait a minute, my glasses are steaming up a bit. Let's get my wipe off. There we are. Oh. Snowing. In the summer, indoors as well. Somebody must have left the roof off.
You've got lather on your glasses.
Pardon?
Lather on your glasses.
Oh, dear, I'll wash it off. Oh, dear. Oh, I dropped them. Where are they? Oh, there they are.
You've smashed them now, look.
Well, at least it stopped snowing. Thankful for small mercies. There we are. Now, I'll just give this a little, think about that. Give this a little, make sure it's all... Oh, dear. Nice and sharp. Have your beard off in no time. You won't know it's gone till you nod your head and it dropped off.
I think I'll leave it.
What?
I've decided to grow a beard.
Oh, no, most unhygienic.
Look, you're in no shape to shave me without your glasses.
Well, let's have a stab at it at least. Goodness me, I know men's chins like the back of my own hand. Oh, cut my hand there.
Look, I don't trust you.
Look, I could do this blindfold. Would you like a blindfold?
No, I'd just like to go.
Wait a minute, just stay where you are.
No, please.
I thought about that. Get
Oh.
Anything else you want? Any hair restorer, any combs, any other requisites at all?
No.
Oh, wait a minute, move it on your random's apple. I'll just get that off. Wait a minute. Please. Goodness me. Oh. How do I like that? Your temperament. Come in, please. That's it. Sit down there. That's it. All right. There we are. Lovely. Now, what would you like? A nice Tony Curtis? I'll sweep it back, blow dry, shake it all, inside it all, do anything like that. Is that the best thing? All right. Thank you. Oh, the story I'm going to tell you when I get comfortable here. There we are. You know, when the TV pioneer Logie Baird died, some people said he put all his money into bricks and mortar, and others that he'd hidden his wealth in a chair. And I personally sometimes think they're both right. I think he bought bricks and mortar and stuffed this chair with it. Anyway, the story. Oh, there we are. The story. Imagine, if you will, the parade ring at Ascot, you see, and the horses are being got ready. And Lord Rosebery is standing there, sharing a joke with Her Majesty. Actually, he was telling the one about the old dowager who decided to streak through the Hunt Ball, you know. And as she was running through the ballroom with nothing on, one old gentleman turned to another one and said, "I say," he said, "wasn't that Felicity Mannering?" And the other one said, "Yes," he said, "I think it was. Did you notice what she was wearing?" He said, "No, not exactly, but whatever it was, it certainly needs ironing." When out of the corner of his eye, Lord Rosebery, when out of the corner of his eye, he sees one of the trainers feeding something to one of the horses. "Excuse me," he said to Your Majesty, "excuse me," he said, "but I think one of the lads here is trying to pull a bit of a flanker." Now, I expect at this point a lot of you are surprised at my fluent use of such racing expressions, you know, as parade ring, Lord Rosebery, horse. Well, I'll let you into a little secret. On the side, I do breed racehorses. I haven't bred any yet, but I've got a damn good idea how it's done. Actually, owning a racehorse is something of a prestige symbol in this business, you know, sort of show you've made it. Some people buy a racehorse, others get a divorce, you know. My wife actually was in favour of the divorce. She said it's more permanent, you know. Something we could both enjoy. And I remember when I first mentioned that I'd like to buy a racehorse, she didn't speak for nearly a minute. Which was rather exciting. It was another 10 seconds and she'd have broken her own record. "Whatever," she said to me, "whatever do you want a racehorse for?" She said, "You've already got a dog." Well, I had to explain to her, with the best will in the world, you can't expect a 10-year-old poodle to win the Grand National. Takes him all his time to put his leg up for the Oaks. But I digress. And I also seem to have forgotten the joke, which luckily I happen to have jotted down here on the back of this. One of my fan letters. Isn't that pathetic? I got one fan letter, and here I am deliberately boasting about it. Anyway, thank you, Chunky of North Ealing. I'm sorry you took the standing up in the hammock joke too seriously. Get well soon. Both of you. Anyway, honestly, one lousy fan letter. Sorry, Chunky. No offence. Well, at least, oh dear. Well, at least I'm honest about it. I'm honest about it. I wonder if I go down there and get that, will I? It's a bit of a fall if I fall off here. that's it. Get vertigo here. My wife's as bad as me. Vertigo, I took her the other day for a row in the Serpentine. She went down with scurvy. At least I'm honest about it, the one fan letter. I mean, not like these people who come on the telly and say, I just want to thank all those millions of viewers who wrote letters of sympathy after watching my show last week. I don't know who writes all those letters. I mean, to me, the gas bill is fan mail. Honestly, I carry it around pointing at my name in the little window, you know. And when I pay it, I enclose an autographed photo of myself looking out of the little window. Back to the joke. Now, we'd got to the point where Lord Rosebery went over to the trainer and he said, what have you just put in that horse's mouth? And the trainer said, as a matter of fact, your lordship, I'm giving him a few lumps of sugar. Look, there's nothing wrong with it. Taste it. And he ate a bit himself, you see, and Lord Rosebery ate a lump. See the trick? See? He said, I'm sorry, said Lord Rosebery. Having eaten the lump of sugar, he said, I'm sorry. And I thought, for a moment, that you might have been banging him a dose of the old hurry-up mixture. He had a quaint turn of phrase, did his lordship. And when he'd gone, the trainer turned to the jockey and he said, now, what I want you to do, he said, is to hold him in for the first 4 furlongs and then let him go. Now, you've got nothing to worry about. If anything passes you, it'll be either me or Lord Rosebery.
Ladies and gentlemen, in concert, Jehoshaphat and Jones.
Now just listen to me, darling. What I say to you is true. If you really want to leave me, that's entirely up to you. But believe me when I tell you, I'm really not to blame. All your silly fears are groundless. I still love you just the same. It don't mean that I don't love you, just because I never speak. And I never give you presents, take you swimming in the creek, just because I hate your cooking. Oh, please don't get in a stew, just because I shot your grandma doesn't mean I don't love you. It don't mean that I don't love you when I punch you on the nose. Other women never buy you any clothes. How can we remain together with so many ifs and buts? It don't mean that I don't love you, but my wife, she hates your guts. Hi there, folks. On behalf of me and my old pal and buddy, Fat Belly here, I'd like to tell everybody, pleased I am to be back, and we are indeed back over in England. Isn't that right, Fat Belly?
Sure enough, Jim. Yeah, sure enough.
Yeah, it was a great privilege to come over here, mingle with you lovely people again. I sure do love to mingle, don't I, Fat Belly?
Yeah, you sure do, Jim. Yeah, maybe that's what's wrong with the world today. It's just people just don't mingle enough. Well, I bet there's people in this audience tonight that ain't mingled for years.
Still, we didn't come here to make the world better, did we? We came here to sing a few songs.
Yep, make it worse.
Let's get back to your gal, this little song we do. What's it called?
Well, I'm changing my glasses.
All right. I've got myself a gorgeous girl, she lives just out of town. She's always most agreeable whenever I'm around. We never ever quarrel and she sees my point of view. She just agrees with everything, well that's not strictly true. She agrees we're like the bees and the birds up in the trees. She agrees that love is wonderful and right. She agrees in every way with everything I say, but she won't agree to do what I asked her to last night. She's such a healthy sort of girl, she plays all kinds of sports. She's a wonderful all-rounder when she's wearing tennis shorts. She's great upon the golf course and she's an expert rifle shot. And when she plays a game, she gives it everything she's got. She plays baseball, she plays pool, she plays hockey for the school. She can ski and swim and fence and fly high. throw a dart or bounce a ball, she'll play any game at all. But she wouldn't play the game that I asked her to last night. She agrees that I'm sincere and she thinks that I'm a dear, but she won't agree to do what I asked her to last night. She agrees that I've got class and she thinks that I'm a gas, but she won't agree to do what I asked her to last night. No, she won't agree to do what I asked her to last night. Southern girl. Met her down in Arkansas, never saw the gal before, but she seemed a real good pal. She could rust cattle and her sister from Seattle, she used to do it as well. She was a big, fat, what do you think of that? Uptight downtown belle. She was huge, tall, really on the ball, great big loving name. Traveled with the rodeo, working at the strip show, no two shows the same. Cow show, cat fair, she would drop her underwear, everybody enjoyed it, you could tell. She was a huge, tall, no place tall, uptight downtown belle. Seemed to be the one for me, seemed a lot of fun to me, but she made my life a mess. Took my gold, left me in the cold, didn't even leave my heart. She was a large, fine lady on the line, regular downtown tar.
Well, that's all for this week, except for 2 items of late news. Mr. Arthur Purkis, the man who this week won £500,000 on the pools, has announced that he will never work another day in his life. He's staying on with British Rail. And a Watford man has made a serious complaint against Sunnyview Naturist Paradise. He said that after being in the nudist camp for at least 3 months, he had a letter from the secretary that began, "Dear Sir or Madam."
But that's all we've time for, so it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.